Well, welcome everybody back into the Core 4 podcast. I'm your host, Reed. I'm joined by Seth, Owen, Thomas, and we have a very, very special guest here with us today, Curtis Dickson. We're very happy to have you. He plays for the Vancouver Warriors and he's an NLL legend. So, Curtis, thanks for joining.
Fellas, I appreciate you having me on. Anytime.
Well, I'm going to start off the questions today with just how did you get into lacrosse and where did you really find your love for the game and just get into it, wanting to play it for a while and stuff like that?
Yeah, I started off super young. My dad grew up playing locally here in Vancouver. He was big into lacrosse. He moved to Vancouver when he was around, I think, 7 or 8. He was born in Scotland. Then his family came over and he started playing lacrosse pretty quick. And he played lacrosse pretty much his whole life. He won, for those of you guys that know junior out here, he won 2 Minto Cups with the Burnaby Cablevision in the 70s, and he won a Man Cup with the New Westminster Salmon Bellies in the 80s. And he just got, he got a stick in my hands when I was really young. I've been playing organized lacrosse pretty much since I was 2, 3 years old, and a lot of my memories from when I was a kid was just going down, either it was going to the box with my dad or playing in the basement. I was fortunate I grew up with an unfinished basement, so I just had concrete walls all down in the basement. So I was down there throwing the ball against the wall or playing catch with him. So owe a lot to him. Obviously, mom too. Mom was driving me to and from, but she wasn't playing a ton of catch with me. But no, they were always super supportive of everything I wanted to do. And I played a lot of sports growing up. I was baseball, soccer, hockey, lacrosse, and then hockey and lacrosse all the way through high school. And then obviously had to make a decision. And I figured lacrosse was my best way to kind of, get a scholarship and go to school like you guys are doing now, and hopefully play in the pros one day. So that's kind of what my journey looked like.
It's
Nice.
awesome.
That's
Did you
awesome.
uh, did you play high level hockey or is that always just a sport just to kind of keep in shape for the lacrosse season?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't super serious in hockey. I played major midget out here in BC. I don't know if you guys have those leagues in Alberta and whatever else, but it was pretty high level. Like it was good hockey, but I just knew like I was always a little bit better at lacrosse, and that was going to be my best bet to, get an education out of it, and like I said, go hopefully play pro one day. So I knew the time, at the end of high school, my high school career had come to make that decision, and ultimately, obviously, chose the lacrosse route.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool playing multi-sports growing up.
For sure. And you tell kids all the time, you highly recommend it. You look at, a lot of the guys I played against, John Tavares in lacrosse growing up. He was a incredible lacrosse player. Guys like Stamkos, obviously, Gretzky and Shanahan and those guys back in the day, they all played
Yeah.
lacrosse and hockey and whatever else. So I always, tell kids play as many sports as you can while you can, because when you get older, those kind of start to fizzle out, and you got to make the decisions. So, but you try and steer away from. You see a lot of the hockey kids nowadays trying to play, spring and summer hockey, and they're just kind of burning themselves out. So you definitely want to, keep a variety of sports going for as long as you can.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Calgary, and I got to watch you all growing up. I was at the game when you guys won the championship in 2019, and I was just wondering if you had any memories that stuck out for you while playing there.
I mean, that's number one. That was easily the coolest moment of my lacrosse career, was getting to, win a championship in overtime on our home floor. The crowd was electric that night. The loudest building that I've ever been in, and playing in Calgary was super special. The fans were awesome playing in the Saddle Dome. We always averaged, at least 12 plus thousand people there every night, and there'd be, a handful of games every year. They'd pack it in with 16 plus thousand, and the atmosphere there is just, it's like no other. And even you see now, like they got their St. Patrick's Day. The team's not the greatest, but the fans still show up, and lacrosse is booming in Alberta, and that's not the it's they're not just loud and passionate, but they're super knowledgeable as well. You get a chance to talk to fans after games, and they know the game, they're smart, they're dialed in, and it's just it was an awesome place to get to spend whatever it was, 13 years of my career. It was super special
Yeah, it was really really cool again to watch some games there.
for sure. It's my favorite building to play in.
I saw you guys. I saw the first game of the year, or when you guys were there earlier this season. You got the OT winner on that one.
That one felt good. That one felt good
Yeah.
getting getting to return home and end the game. I was pretty, I think it was, close to 5 minutes into overtime, which doesn't seem like a lot, but after you've played a full 60-minute game and there's no TV timeouts in overtime, guys are getting pretty gassed. So
Getting a little
if the
tired.
ball didn't go in the net there, we would have been, guys are kind of dragging themselves off the floor and gasping for air on the bench. So it was very fortunate that the game ended when it did.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Is that a game that you kind of circle on your calendar at the start of the year, getting to go back to Calgary? Like when you've had the opportunity, obviously with San Diego and now Vancouver, like is that a game that you have circled, and that's one you kind of are nervous for a little bit, just with playing Calgary for so long?
Yeah, not so much like a call it like a revenge game or anything. I left on my own accord both times I did. So more so when San Diego shipped me out when I went when they traded me back to Calgary. I think returning to San Diego was a little bit more holding a grudge and wanting to beat them. But I just anytime I'm back in Calgary, like I said, I love it there. The city's awesome. The fans are incredible. The first time I came back with San Diego, they welcomed me back with open arms and a standing ovation and an awesome, little video tribute. So I got nothing but respect and nice things to say about them. And they're a first class organization, and I enjoyed every second I was there, and I'll enjoy every second I get to go back there and play.
Yeah, we love to get to watch you play.
Awesome. Now I know you mentioned you grew up Vancouver area kinda. What's it like being there? What's it like being, I guess, home and around family and stuff? How's your season going so far?
It's awesome, man. It's a lot less travel, which is nice. Instead of, flying 18 times in the regular season, you only have to fly 9. I get to drive to half the games downtown, so it's a little bit easier on the body, especially getting older. I'm in my late 30s now, so
Yeah.
it anytime I can avoid sitting on airplanes and waiting around in airports, it definitely helps. But getting to have, my family, come to most of the games and getting my little guy, he's almost 2 now, so he gets to come out and buzz around and cheer me on. It's pretty special getting to, play in front of them. My wife was really good. Last year in Calgary, she flew out a bunch, but
Yeah.
obviously a lot easier on her too to be able to just drive to the games and then get home and sleep in our own beds afterwards. So it's been really awesome. And the ownership with the Canucks, they treat us incredibly well. They're super invested, and they're doing whatever they can to help the team succeed. And my first year in Vancouver has been awesome.
That's awesome. That's good to hear.
Is this might be a tough question because there's probably so many based off how long you've played. But is there a player or a coach that comes to mind that has had a really big impact on you both on the floor and off the floor and has taught you like very valuable life lessons? Like, is there one that kind of sticks out, or is there just so many?
Yeah, the easy cliche answer will be my dad. He coached me when I was younger, and obviously he's my father, so it's his job to teach me how to be a human being off the floor. So he gets a lot of the credit. But I think Coach Malosky, that's coaching me now in Vancouver. He coached me when I was in Pee Wee. So when I was however old Pee Wee was back in the day, I think it's like 11 or 12 years old. He had just got started coaching, and that was the best minor lacrosse experience I ever had. It was my second year in Pee Wee, and we I think lost maybe 2 or 3 games the whole season. We won every tournament we went in, and won provincials, and it's just a testament to the type of coach that he is. He demands excellence, whether you're 37 years old like I am now, or I was a 12-year-old kid back in the day. He's coaching in the same way. So there's nobody smarter on the floor with X's and O's. He's incredible. He studies the game. He has us so prepared beforehand with, game film and scouting reports and everything else. And um, I was fortunate to have him as my offensive coach when I came into the league in Calgary, and just, getting to learn from a guy like that was invaluable. And it's been a lot of fun getting to have him on your side.
Sweet.
So you went to school at the University of Delaware. Just being from the States, how did you enjoy it here? Did you ever think about moving here, possibly staying after school, or were you always just planning on going back home and playing box?
I had a blast. Delaware was for the best years of my life. Anyone that's, lacrosse guys or whatever sport you're playing, if you have an opportunity go down to the States on, any type of scholarship and do that. Highly recommend it. Obviously, you guys can attest to that. You get to hang out with your buddies, start a podcast, do whatever the heck you want for 4 or 5 years. And,
Yeah.
I miss it. It was, I was 2010 grad, so I'm a long time out of school, and it still feels like it was just yesterday, and the time goes by really quickly. So enjoy it, fellas, while you're still there. But no, it was awesome. We had good teams. I got to go to a Final Four my freshman year in 2007 when I was there.
Sweet.
Got stomped by Hopkins in the Final Four, but that's okay. We got there. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But no, it was a blast. As far as living down there, not really. It was when I was down at school. I was like a handful of Canadians total that were playing at that point. It was, there wasn't a ton of guys. There was guys like, Kevin Crowley, Jordan McBride. There was just kind of, a few guys sprinkled here and there. Obviously nowadays with the travel teams and programs that get ran, the exposure is a lot more. But
Mhm.
back then it was just kind of you had to send a grainy VHS tape into coaches, and they had to watch and see you there. And some coaches would come down and maybe watch a box game or two during the summer, but no, it was always kind of my plan to come back home and be close to family. And but I definitely miss it. I definitely, I don't get to see my buddies out there all that often when I travel out to, play games in Philly or New York when they were in the league. I'd get to see the old fellas from school, but like I said, I'm 16 years out of college now, and like I said, it goes by really quickly. So, fellas, enjoy it. Enjoy it while you're there. It's my only piece of advice to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of asking a question off of that. When you were being recruited, did you like have any field tape to send to coaches, or was it strictly box stuff that you were reaching out to coaches with, or they were reaching out to you?
Honestly, there wasn't a whole lot of tape at all. It was not many, nothing was really getting filmed back then, unless, you had your dad sitting in the stands with a, camcorder from the early 2000s that, looked like you were watching it off a potato. So like I know a lot of guys, there was like the big recruiting camps that guys would go down to, the Hot 100 or whatever the heck they were called, the Blue Chips and things like that. And a lot of the recruiting back then was just kind of word of mouth. Like, if you played against guys, in the junior, the box leagues back home, guys, you'd go tell your coach about them, and then they'd kind of try and find a way to get out and watch you. Or, I remember a few coaches came and watched some of our field nationals one year when they were in, I think it was like Winnipeg or somewhere, Saskatchewan or something out in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, it was like I said, it was a lot of word of mouth and just kind of trusting your players when they're vouching for their buddies.
Yeah.
Being from Canada, like always dreamed about putting on the maple leaf. Like, how was your experience both box and field wise and getting to play for Team Canada?
Like anytime you get a chance to, don the maple leaf is exciting, and I've been fortunate. I've played in three fields worlds and two box worlds. One of the golds in field and two box golds. So I've got to do it a few times, obviously, and there's nothing quite like it. Getting to play with that caliber of players, and especially in some of those box tournaments. 2019 in Langley, our Team Canada team was so
Unbelievable.
stacked, and just getting to play with those guys, and it just makes the game a heck of a lot easier, and it's a lot of fun. Get to travel to some fun places. Got a chance to go to Israel, obviously, for the Worlds that year. Bit of a heartbreak losing that one, but it's like I said, playing in the Worlds and getting to put the maple leaf on is pretty special.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Um, Obviously we all know you can't make a living off of professional lacrosse. I don't know, there's some elite guys and you might be up there, but what's the work-life balance like with playing and having to hold a job and just kind of family time and everything like that?
Well, you're asking the wrong guy. I'm one of those guys. I'm just playing and I do some coaching at home right now, but yeah, for the most part, I'm playing on the weekends. I got my little guy during the week if he's not at daycare. I'm working out and staying in shape.
Yeah.
But I'm fortunate enough where, like I said, I play. Haven't played summer lacrosse in a couple of years, but
Yeah.
usually I'm playing kind of year round and doing coaching with Tyler Pace has his PCL program out here that I work with him doing that. But as some would say, kind of living the dream and just playing and coaching. So I'm actually running camps with the Warriors this week. That's where I just got home from. So we're just shaping youth minds and trying to pass the game on to the next generation. So I can't really relate to the guys. There's a lot of guys that are, going and working full 9 to 5s throughout the week and grinding it out and then hopping on a plane and going to play. So, I don't envy those guys, but no, I got a pretty decent setup the way I got it going right now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And kind of just touching on the PLL, I know you played in it, not anymore, but can you just kind of speak on, the impact the PLL is having? Obviously, it's really grown the game both on social media, viewership, on people watching it live, but just kind of touch on your time with the PLL and the impact that it's having on the sport of lacrosse.
It's huge, yeah. I mean, Paul's, Rabel's a smart guy. He knows kind of how to tap into the younger generation, and he knows it's kind of all about social media and online presence, and they've obviously done a really good job with that. And I did have an opportunity. I played the COVID year in the bubble where we were in Utah for I think it was 3 weeks, and we were kind of locked down on the Utah campus, and we had to live there for the time, and it was actually a lot of fun. It was really well ran. They did a really good job, and we played. I don't know. I can't remember how many games we ended up playing. It was probably 7 or 8 games. We lost in the finals to the Whipsnakes, but no, it was a lot of fun. It's a that field game. It's a obviously the smaller field. It's a little bit more my style. It's a little faster pace. Obviously the shot clock it exists in college now, but there was no shot clock when I was in college. So
Yeah.
big advocate as, as an O player, you want the shot clock to kind of speed the game up, especially as box guys.
Mhm.
And no, it was a lot of fun. It was, I love, I like playing field lacrosse. It just travel wise is kind of why, I decided to stop playing. Had to make the decision between playing box in the summer at home or traveling for the PLL. And it was just, after traveling all winter in the NLL, having to fly out. Obviously, they're predominantly on the East Coast for the PLL as well. So
Yeah,
those travel weekends are a bit of a grind. So
for
especially now
sure.
that I have a family too, I just kind of hung up the cleats for a bit. And but no, it's cool getting to watch that on TV. It's a really good product. Obviously, the top players getting to watch those guys play is pretty cool. And I'm excited to see where that league goes.
Absolutely.
Going off that, you stuck with box a little longer. Like, do you like box a little more than you like field, or is it pretty equal for you?
No, I definitely enjoy box more. It's, a little more fast pace and field across. I was an attackman, so you find yourself kind of sitting at the other end of the field, just leaning on your stick for
Yeah.
long periods of time, and just the like I said, the fast pace. And again, with the shot clock in the PLL game, and now in college is it's a little bit quicker, but I just like the condensed space. I like the contact of box and getting to shove guys around and set picks and get yourself open and create space that way. So I've always been a bit more of a box fan than a field fan.
I think we'd all agree with you on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good choice. It's a good choice. Thomas, you ever played box?
Nope, never.
Oh,
Don't plan on it either.
oh, come on, man. Come on.
Tried
Don't
to get him
knock
to come up to Canada. He would be a good guy. He's tough. He'd be a good D guy, but
don't knock
he,
it till you try it. Get out there, man. You just get to hammer on people. They don't even have to have the ball in their stick. You can just
Yeah.
rail away on them. D
He
guy's the
loves
best
that
position.
too. He
I
always
mean, I
talks
watch with
about
them all the time. It looks like a good time, but I don't know if I could leave home.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
it. We're me, Reed, no. We're all going in our last year of junior. Just wanted to ask what your junior career is like, and if you got one thing to kind of send us off with in our last year, we'd love to hear what you had to say.
Same as college. Enjoy it while you got it, because
Yeah,
it goes
it
by
goes.
quick, as you guys know, if you're in your last year already. But no, so I did 3 years. I played in Poco with the Saints,
Mm-hmm.
and then had a bit of a falling out. So back then you could sit out a season and become a free agent. So I sat my 4th year out and went and played New West for my 5th year as junior with the Bellies. Back in my junior career, I don't know how tuned in you guys are, but the Burnaby Lakers were a bit of a dynasty out here, and they didn't lose many games. So that's the time that I was playing, and so I never really sniffed any Minto Cups. I made a couple of BC finals, but
Yeah.
it was a ton of fun. Junior lacrosse was just getting to
Oh,
hang out with your buddies, 4 or 5 days a week and going to practice and playing games and whatever else. You got your island trips out here in BC where you get to take the
oh.
ferry and um, it's just it's not like anything else, man. It's a lot of fun. Just enjoy it. Who do you guys play for?
I played for the minors.
Yeah, I'm kind of I fluctuate. I played junior B with a team locally, and then I'm trying out for the junior A minors this summer.
Okay, and then
Uh,
sorry, Owen, who are you
I've
with?
I've been with the Raiders the last 2 years, and then this year I'm going down to play B, just a little more playing time for my last year.
Good stuff. All right, so then exactly like I said, it's enjoy it while you got it. Whether you go on to play senior B in Alberta or you want to come out and play senior A in BC, that's a decision you'll make down the road, but just enjoy every second of it while you got it, because before you know it, you'll be
It's gone.
20 years out of junior with a kid and a wife and coming up on retirement, and
Yeah,
you won't know where the time went. So
yeah,
just enjoy your youth while you still got it.
yeah.
We
Those
appreciate it.
island trips definitely beat our Sask trips. So,
But you guys bus, I'm assuming?
yeah,
I did, yes.
Bus ride with the boys is fun
yeah,
too.
it is fun. Yeah, lots of
It's it's a great time. The first 4 years have flown by.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I played a summer out in or 2 summers out in Ontario in the MSL with senior, and it was all like the closest game was 40 minutes, so it was all like 2, 3, 4 hour bus rides to
yeah,
most of the games, and those are some of the best memories I have in lacrosse is playing cards and losing a bunch of money and hanging out with the fellas. So
yeah,
enjoy those two while you still got them.
for
Yeah.
sure.
I got one more question for you. I don't know if you talk a lot of crap or not while you play, but when you want to get in a guy's head, what would you say your go-to chirp is?
I've come to learn. When I was younger, I definitely would probably say a lot more on the floor. As
Yeah.
I'm older now, I know the dumbest thing you can do is to piss off your defender because
Oh,
that's just going to make them, hit you harder and want to go after you more. So I usually just try and buddy with them, ask them how their week was, how their family's doing, whatever else. But back in the day, I don't know. I just uh, I'd probably just if I ever you run by them and score a goal, you ask them what they were doing out there or tell them to figure it out or something. But I was never a huge trash talker, so I don't have any good one-liners or go-to trash talking that I would do.
Smart man.
Fair.
Man.
The last one will go away from lacrosse. I'm a big Oilers fan. Seth's a massive Oilers fan. Owen's a Flames fan, so we won't really get much into that.
Unfortunate.
It's all right. We're in a rebuild hurry.
And Thomas is a Minnesota Wild fan, so they're having success. But yeah, just touch on the Edmonton Oilers. I think I've seen on your social media that you're an Oilers fan, and maybe just a prediction for this year. Does this the year Connor gets one, or what's going to happen?
I am a big Oilers fan, which is it's kind of random, but I had a when I was in like grade 2 or 3, I had a one of my buddies was a Ducks fan, and I thought it was awesome that he liked a different team other than the Canucks. I grew up in Vancouver, obviously, but so I just said I'm going to be an Oilers fan. I don't know why I picked the Oilers. I mean, I was a big, Dougie Weight and Ryan Smith and Jason Arnott and Curtis Joseph back in the mid '90s. Those teams
Mhm.
were always fun to watch, and so I
Yeah.
just picked the Oilers, and I've been an Oilers fan ever since. Last 2 years have been obviously heartbreaking as
Oh,
to be
no.
an Oilers fan, but at the same time, we went through the decade of darkness, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
getting to at least root them on through to the Stanley Cup was a lot of fun, even though losing in Game 7 and Game 6 of the Cup Finals was pretty
heartbreaking.
devastating. But my little guy's 2 years old, so he's 2 for 2 in Cup Finals appearances in his lifetime.
Oh,
So
yeah.
hopefully he makes it 3 for 3 this year.
He's a little charm.
Well, he's a good luck charm to an extent. He's a really good Western Conference charm.
Yeah.
But as for this year, again, you never know with this team. They make you question them, all regular season, and they find
Oh,
a way to kind of turn it up come playoff time. So
yeah.
if they can, keep steady Eddie and find their way into the playoffs, I'm never going to count them out. But again, it's going to come down to goaltending and defense and keeping the puck out of their own net because they're usually pretty good at, put running the score up and finding ways to score goals. So
Sure.
if they don't get their usual first round bye playing the Kings this year, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to go. So we'll have to wait and see. But I'm I'm optimistic, and either way I'll be rooting them on and hoping for the best.
Yeah, for sure.
Were you a big baseball fan? Did you follow a lot of the Blue Jays stuff last year?
I mean, I'm a sports fan, so like during the play, I don't. There's 162 games. I'm not watching a whole
Yeah.
lot of regular season, but
Yeah.
once the playoffs come on, and I'm a Canadian, so I was rooting them on, and obviously another heartbreaking loss for Canadian sports fans. So
Yeah.
we and to go with Thomas, I don't want to hear you say anything about the gold
Yeah,
medal
thank
hockey
you.
game.
I won't say a word. I won't say a word.
You keep
That
your
was
mouth shut
really
over there. But it's been a rough go, so I think we're due for a win here pretty quick.
I agree.
We're due is right. Well, that's all the questions we have for you, Curtis. Like I said, this has been awesome. It's been fun. We can't thank you enough for coming on to our podcast. And everyone can make sure you follow Curtis Dickson 17 on Instagram and tune in to the Vancouver Warrior games and support them. They're a great team and they're going into the March to May. So you guys have a good chance to win it. So we'll be following, and we can't thank you enough for coming on.
Yeah.
Awesome, fellas. No problem. Anytime. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah,
Oh,
thanks so
Thanks so
much.
much.
Thanks, Curtis.